Hello, I'm Evan, and this is going to be Yosemite Wilderness Company's first blog post about gear. As you can see, I'm wearing gear. This is what I just got home 2 days ago from Northbound John Muir Trail. I wore this 19 out of 20 days on the trail. It was washed a couple times, but this is where we'll start. What do I wear? This is an outdoor research hoodie. It's the thinnest one they sell. I get it in white because I like light gear because it reflects sunlight. That's pretty much the only reason I get the white. It looks disgusting. It is a little disgusting. I washed it in a lake 3 days before we ended. It's been more disgusting than this. But most of the stains that you see on here are relatively permanent. They will lighten up with the wash. That's about it. This is what I wear pretty much every day. Hoodie. This is a running hat from Auto. It's got a nice sweatband in it. I've tried a lot of different hats. This is the one that I like. And then the shorts that I wear, come around the table here. These are essentially just Lululemon knockoffs that I got from Amazon. I have a lot of hiking gear. I have really expensive pants, really expensive shirts. This is what I like to hike in. I'll get into some philosophy of the way that my wife and I do our hikes during this video. I don't like to spend a lot of time editing. I'll say that right up front. Pretty much everything's going to be one take. What you see is what you get. If there's a lot of fluff, I'll cut it out. Otherwise, I will try to do a nice index. I will put links into the products that I talk about, but this is going to be very off the cuff. So our philosophy is really what we developed is kind of a combination of ultralight hiking and traditional equipment. We're trying to mix not carrying a lot of weight, but still being comfortable on the trail. It tends towards the ultralight side of things. Like this is basically an ultralight uniform, shorts, hoodie, hat, the shoes I wear. So again, this is pretty gross because I haven't done laundry yet. I wanted to do this as raw as possible. These are the socks that I wore every day except for one on the trail. And I know that there's people that bring a lot of socks. I like my Darn Tough socks. Darn Tough, the short ones. These are like the lightweight ones, not the ultralight, but the lightweight. Socks are personal preference. I won't even get into it too much. I wear Dirty Girl gaiters. I tend to get brightly colored things because I don't like losing them. They're easy to spot when it's dark. Or if they're sitting around camp and you're leaving, you've forgotten something. Topo, I think these are the Mountain Racer 6s. Let's see, Topo, I can't even tell anymore. Mountain Racer 3, that's what these are. These were brand new when I got on the trail. I've been in Hoka's for a few years. I've tried the Brooks Cascadias. I'll do another post on shoes. These shoes are game changing. I absolutely love them. Up to 18 miles a day with zero problems. They lasted excellent. There's some wear right here on this is from the shoes being tied, and I think the aglet from being tied would sit right here with the gaiter, so it ended up wearing it down over the almost 3 weeks that we were on trail. Cosmetic, it doesn't seem to have caused an issue. So love these shoes, they were awesome. So I'm going to get into packs, and these packs have not been unpacked. This is mine. This is my wife's. These are both Z-Pack Arc Haul Ultras. Mine is a 40. My wife's is a 60. The reason for that is that I don't need the space just because of the way that we pack our gear. She does need the space because we use a double sleep system. So we use a double enlightened quilt. And that's probably half of this bag is just that quilt crammed into it. So I'll start with my bag, and I'm just going to unpack it, and we'll go through what I got. So first thing is this Gossamer pad. This is their Gossamer ultralight pad they have. It's like an 1/8 inch thick. We use these in the tent underneath our other pad that I'll show you, but also we use it during breaks. We use it around camp. It's just thick enough that you can lay it on the ground or put it on some granite and totally take a nap and be fine, or put it on grass and you don't have the bugs on you quite as bad. It weighs essentially nothing. Give me a minute and I'll tell you exactly what essentially nothing means. And I'll put all of the weights and all of the links again in the description. I'll link to all this stuff. So let's do that again. So this is 82 grams, so 3 ounces. It's, you know, grams make ounces and ounces make pounds. But again, the goal with our equipment is not to be as light as humanly possible. It's to be able to be out, to carry as little as possible, but also be really, really comfortable without having to carry 45 or 50 pounds, which a lot of people on the JMT were carrying. Toothpaste. I think that fell out of my wife's bag. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, a sit pad. This is just from Garage Grown Gear. I've been carrying this for years. The same thing as this with this pad. It just gives you some flexibility in where you're going to sit and how you're going to be comfortable. You can use it as a pillow when you're laying down. You can put it on a rock at lunch. It's fantastic. 30 grams. Let's see, the bear can. This is attached to my umbrella currently because I clamped it in there. So when I eat, when I do lunch and stuff, my bag just sits on the ground sideways like this, and I can just get in the bear can. That way I don't have to get into my bag. These bear cans are awesome compared to the BVs, the bear vaults, because they're so easy to get into, and they don't. The bear vaults, if you haven't used one, when it gets cold, they have this plastic latch, and it gets really difficult to open. These guys just use these little quarter turn screws called Zeus fasteners, and the lid just comes right off. So my umbrella was just clamped in that edge. So 3 weeks on trail. The smell is quite something, but it's just part of through hiking, right? Like if you've done it, you know. If you haven't, you get used to it. Just like I'm wearing clothes that haven't been laundered in over a week, and I can smell them, but you know, it's my smell. Cook system. This is a Toaks titanium pot. I think this is 1,000. My glasses back. Toaks titanium pot. The BRS stove that everybody uses, this like tiny little thing from Amazon. Let's do weights on everything as we go. So this BRS is 26 grams. I only boil water for dinners, so this can lasted me all 3 weeks, and there's a little bit left in it, but it's mostly empty. I won't bother weighing it. Everybody, they're normal. They just weigh what they weigh. My Toaks pot, which I will have to confirm, 700 milliliters on the pot, 91 grams. With the little baggie, 103 grams. The baggie I use like to wipe out the inside of it and things like that. I'll do another video about how we go about doing dishes and stuff like that. So this, I'm going to put all this stuff back together as I go, just to keep it organized. This is just heavy duty foil. It unfolds into basically this. This is just like folded over, looks like doubled and then doubled again, heavy duty foil. It's a basic windscreen. 16 grams. You know, could you get away without it? Probably. But if it's windy and you're trying to cook, it's awful handy. So all this just nests together to take up as little space as possible. And it's in the bear can now because I don't have enough food to fill the bear can. And if you don't kind of fill space in it, it just rattles around on the trail and it's annoying. These are my rain pants. Never use them. Usually carry them on a longer trip, especially in the Sierra. 163 grams. These are Outdoor Research heliums. The matching helium rain jacket, again, 187 grams. If you're hiking in the Sierra in July and August, you have to have something for rain because rain is very common in the afternoons. It's just the way it is. You kind of plan on hiking until 3 o'clock or so, and then expect rain. part of my food. I'll get into food maybe later. That's not really the point of this video. This is my hammock, Hummingbird. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately. 5 ounces for the hammock, 3 ounces for the straps. It's my luxury item. I love my hammock. I have fusions in my back, so my back can hurt after a day on the trail. And this is just amazing. If you take like a half day, hang at some trees, I can read my book. My Kindle's my other luxury item. I can't get away without having a book with me, and I'm not going to carry a meat space paper book. 211 grams for this, even though you can't buy them anymore. That's what it is. Let's just put my food in here. Garbage, please pack your garbage out. This is all just food waste. Empty plastic bag, empty plastic bag. A little bit of meat that was left over from dinners. Again, I can get into that later. This is gross because we cold soaked for the last day and then ended up just doing a double day and we never ate dinner. So this is a Lightsmith plastic container. It's like $5 on Lightsmith. We use it to cold soak. The way that we use this is we will take at lunch this clean-ish jar that we've cold soaked the previous day and then just rinsed out essentially. Put in our portion of dinner into this, put water in it, and then it just stays in the bag until dinner time and cold soaks. That way our freeze-dried meat and vegetables are well hydrated and not crunchy. It's awesome. I'm not going to weigh this now because it has meat and water in it that's been sitting there for 2 days. Gross. I know, whatever. Hiking is kind of gross. Just put that aside and deal with it later. More food. This is potatoes, some vitamins. This is pesto mix. Again, I'll get into food later. Ramen, meat stick. That looks good. I'm gonna eat that later. Some bug lotion that I've never used. This is Picardin, Sawyer Picardin bug lotion. We always carry this. We never needed it this time on the trail. We buy the big giant tub and then put it in these little bottles from Amazon. And I will link these little bottles. These are awesome. You buy them like 100 of them and they're cheap, like $10 or something. They're light. They don't leak, period. Even at elevation, going up and down from 4,000 to 10 or 4,000 to 14,000, the JMT spans. And going up or down on the passes, these never leaked. And that's great. A lot of the bottles leak. More ramen. Some ketchup and mustard and hot sauce packets. We carry a little sponge to do dishes. There are specific ways to do dishes in the backcountry. That's not the purpose of this video, but having a little piece of sponge is nice to have. This is so weird. Okay, so there's a couple more things, some drink packets and mustard. And then this. So the sponge weighs 4 grams, and this is just half of a regular kitchen sponge. This is like an exfoliating face scrubby glove. My wife was throwing this away in the bathroom and I saw it before we left and I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. I could use that on the trail. It weighs 18 grams and I would basically jump in a river or a lake and put this on one hand at a time and I'd scrub all the dirt off of myself. I don't use sunscreen or usually bug lotion on this trip. I didn't use bug lotion at all. So you're supposed to, for leave no trace principles, you are supposed to rinse your body of all that stuff. I've never met anybody who does. It's a great principle to use. I prefer to cover up instead of using sunscreens with my hat and the hoodie. I spend a lot of time outside, so I don't worry about my legs getting sunburned. I just try to get sun a little bit at a time. Again, not the topic of this video. So assuming you are rinsed of lotions and salves and balms and such, this was a great idea. I love it. I'm always going to take it with me. The dirt really sticks on the trail and having something to scrub yourself off with is great. I used to just take my shirt off and scrub myself with my shirt. But this is nice. Like it gets the dead skin. It scrubs. It's cool. It's nice. It's whatever. Take it or leave it. I don't care. Do your own thing. So, and then the bear can. This is the Bear Vault Barricade. I think this is not the Expedition, but the one below it. It's about 800 cubic inches. This weighs 953 grams. It's roughly 3/4 of a pound or a pound lighter than the BV500. I talked about the opening system. I love this can. It's an awesome can. In a smaller size, I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze over the Bear Vaults, But in the bigger size, fantastic. I do wish that they could make it a lighter color. Food gets really hot in this because it's really dark. Okay, put the garbage and food aside. Let's get into the fanny pack. I started hiking with a fanny pack recently because I liked the idea of having all of my important things like at hand all the time. The thing that I like most about this is that when we get into like a resupply, like a town, or even around camp, like I can take my pack off and all of my gear, my backpacking gear is there, but I can still throw this on and have all of my important stuff with me. So this has my inReach. I carry, this is pretty new. I started carrying a knife, like an actual Swiss Army knife, just because for the weight, this is like I think it's a Boy Scout one. It's got a Boy Scout logo on it. 99 grams, so just under 4 ounces. So again, adding weight, grams make ounces, ounces make pounds. But being out there and having something broken that you can't fix sucks. And for 3 weeks, you need to have these kinds of things, I feel, or you're relying on other people for it. And I like to be self-reliant, so that is what it is. This is Advil and some other just kind of like allergy pills and stuff like that. I also put my M&Ms in this bag, which people really laugh at. But M&Ms are kind of my go-to. Like I'll eat 3 or 4 of them for a little bit of energy during the day. And having my Advil and M&Ms together was really freaking cool because I'd be like, oh, I forgot to take my Advil this morning. Here it is with my M&Ms, and it's right here in my fanny pack. So a weird little thing, but there it is. My spoon I keep in here because it's a small item, and when you need it, you need it. I hate looking for it. This, I laminate my permits for longer trips like this just because that way they hold together, and if they get wet, they're good. So this is my JMT permit. This is just like daily kind of meditation and stuff like that, mindfulness stuff, if you're into that sort of thing. This is a 10,000 milliamp battery. This is a night core. Charge my stuff. I'll get into how I use my phone in another video. Not necessary right now, but this is my battery. This battery weighs 162 grams. I have a few of them. They vary by 10 or 20 grams up and down. I'll show you the one that my wife has. I carry this cord to charge my phone, 7 grams, essentially nothing. A little more garbage in there. My headlamp is your basic ultralight night core. NU25 with shot cord replacing the headband. Weighs 33 grams. An adapter that has chocolate in the ports, and now it's broken, but whatever. I had some M&Ms drop into this. Some prescription medication that I use. And that's it for that pocket. Toothpaste, nearly empty. Toothbrush, not in any kind of protector because I'm a gross person. These are porta wipes. This is part of our poop system, which, let's talk about poop. So these are awesome. They're basically wet wipes, but they've been compressed and dried. They are fantastic. We have done everything from carrying rolls of toilet paper like a lot of people do. We never did carrying the wet wipes thing like some people. We were part of the Sticks and Rocks Club for a couple of years, which is fine if you can get into water every day, but Sticks and Rocks don't really do the job that you want to do when you're pooping. These are great. They weigh, so let's see, here's a tube with 5 of them in here. Weighs 24 grams. You get them wet and you have basically a nice big wet wipe. It's like this big. So you can take it and you fold it once and you do some business, and you fold it again, you do some more, you fold it again, you got a third go at it. And then you have a little small compressed wipe that you put in your Ziploc bag and you pack out. Please pack out your toilet paper. I can't stress enough how gross it is to find toilet paper at camps. And we find it at pretty much everywhere we camp. There are people that, oh, well, it's biodegradable. It's just paper. It goes away. Sure, it probably goes away, but it goes away after like 5 years. And on a trail like the JMT, you've got, 50 or 100 people passing through every day. And, even if just a few of those people poop in that area every day and only one of them leaves toilet paper behind, that's a lot of toilet paper out in the woods. And that just sucks. Anyways, please pack your toilet paper. Hand sanitizer. This came in a resupply, and my wife was being nice and threw it in my bag, so I didn't really use this because I have another one. But, you know, it's good to have. Stickers. It's another trail hiker. Shout out to Tortuga. Had stickers, so his trail name, which is kind of cool. It's a cool idea. And then this is my lighter with duct tape wrapped around it, as you do. My lighter stays in here because when you need it, you need it. I used to put it in my pot, but I use it for repairs sometimes also, like to melt the ends of strings and things. So I just decided, as small as it is, I'll put it in here. And that's my fanny pack. There's still one earplug in here because I have a funny ear that I put an earplug in sometimes. And that's the fanny pack. So the fanny pack itself weighs 157 grams, so roughly 6 ounces. It is what it is. I really like it for the function. Let's put that stuff over there, and we'll get into the bag. This is a pillow I got from Lightsmith. I don't know what the normal function of this thing is, but I'm always on the hunt for a little bit better pillow. My normal pillow is just a stuff stack full of clothes, but I don't carry a lot of clothes usually, so I like a little more loft. This thing is cool. It has a straw that it came with that doesn't last long. And it goes in here and you blow it up and you just pull it out of this little plastic tubey thing. It's cool. It lasted about 2 weeks and then it just kind of started leaking air. Not surprising. It's like a 3-pack of these for $10, I think. Cool idea. I'm not sure if I'd do it again just because I don't like throwing stuff out. I like things that last, and finding things that are light enough that I want to carry them and durable enough that they're going to last a long time is probably one of the bigger challenges of this. So take it for what you will. It's kind of cool. Nice idea. It was worth trying. Okay, so stakes. Put this bag here so you can see where I'm going. These are the DAC V-Best. I think they're medium longs, and there is no better stake. I love these stakes. I have 3 different versions of them depending on the terrain we're in. Don't even bother with other stakes. 8 of these with a little rubber band on them weigh 112 grams. If you're not doing big rock, little rock method or something else, if you're going to use stakes, those are the stakes. Can't say enough good things about them. These are the poles to my tent. I'll just put them here and talk about the whole tent when I get the rest of it out. We do smart water bottles for our water, the through hiker style. We don't do the filters on the bottle because, well, I don't because I'm a guzzler, and my wife doesn't partially because if we use the same systems, it's just easier to manage. Like, it means we have the same parts. It means I don't have to carry a lot of extra like gaskets and things. But it's what we've done. So we each carry 2 of these. My other one is in the car probably still. But anyways, I have on the bag a pocket for the other water bottle, and then I carry my spare one back here. We usually carry half a liter in this one as kind of a reserve in the back of the pack, and then a full liter up here. When the full liter's gone, we know it's time to stop at a water supply and refill. But I've been without water for long parts of trips. Not planned, and I'm scared of being without water, so we carry 2 bottles each. It's just the way it is. Let's see, outside of pack stuff, more outside of pack stuff we have. So the umbrella, if you're part of the umbrella gang, you know how cool this is. If you're not part of the umbrella gang, maybe someday you will be. They are awesome. This weighs 186 grams. So what's that, like 7-ish ounces, something like that. On hot days in the Sierra, when you're up high and there's no tree cover, this is so fantastic to have. Again, it's weight, it's extra, but this is the balance between our ultralight and comfort. For me, being able to put an umbrella up and take off my hat and put my hood down is an absolute game changer for comfort. It's a big deal for me. Let's see here. Water filters. That's my water filter. This is one of those porta wipes that I was using for, I don't know, something. Maybe a hanky or something that just got stuffed in there as garbage. But this, you can see how big it is. And it's like soft and clothy. And absorbent, all the things that one needs and something to wipe one's butt. I'm gonna put this in the garbage. Oh, the other thing about those porta wipes is we'll often take one out at night and you can clean your hands and your face and kind of wipe down with it, and then you hang it up either in your tent or somewhere where a critter won't get to it outside. And in the morning you can get it wet again and you can use this toilet paper. So you can use it twice. You're not just using it over and over again. You can rinse it in a lake if you just use it to wipe your face and stuff off. Not after you pooped on it. Please don't reuse it after you use it to wipe your butt. This is the water filters that we use. These are really old Ceenox. This is mine. Wife has the same one, 3-liter Ceenox. We're using the Sawyer Minis. I like the Mini because it's easy to pack, but the Squeeze, the bigger one, does flow better and it doesn't clog as bad. These things seem to need to be back flushed like every 2 times you use them, which is a little bit of a pain. But you need to carry your back flushing syringe anyways, so I don't know. There's a balance to it. I may try the Squeeze again just to see if it doesn't need the flushing as much. Ceenox, I can't recommend these anymore. They're so awesome compared to the Sawyer Squeeze things. They open up big. You can scoop your water. You find like a little tiny waterfall and they just fill right up. And then I add these strings to the closure. So just a Kevlar, really lightweight Kevlar cordage with a little carabiner on the end of it. And this means that you can hang it from anything. Like you can wrap it around a tree, you can put it on a branch. I will hook it on the top of like a granite boulder and it'll dangle off the side. If I were refilling at lunch, I'll just lay this bag down with the bottle on it and sit on it just to filter it a little faster, because these will take like 200 pounds of pressure when they're not leaky. They do get leaky. After a while, they'll get pinholes and stuff, but you can patch them just with, I'll show you the other one. It's got some patches on it. So this filter and bag together, you know what, I'm gonna weigh them separately. So the Ceenox bag with the string and whatnot on it is 105 grams. The Sawyer Mini with the smart water adapter is 73 grams. The scale keeps going weird. 70 grams. And that gets us into, so here's my bag. I'm going to show you before I take everything out of it, just because it's easier to see. This is a Z-Packs Arcall Ultra 40. I love this bag. I've used a bunch of different bags. I don't find that I need any more space than this, because you have all these big pockets and stuff and the straps, and you can start strapping stuff on the outside. One thing that isn't on here, I put Birkenstock. I'm going to go grab them. 1 second. So I've never been a camp shoe guy because they're just too heavy. I have size 13 feet. Crocs weigh a pound, which is just too much. I got these Birkenstock EVA sandals. These guys weigh 282 grams, 10 ounces. So for 10 ounces on the JMT, I'm glad I had them. We took some 0 days. Even though I love the Topo shoes, and if I unlace them and make them loose, they're still really comfortable. It's nice to let them dry out at night, and just to get something different on my feet. So these were great. I really, and they're the lightest shoes that I found to have for camp shoes. So these just strap in with these right here. These straps just go over the shoes and they just stay right there. So back to the pack. Z-Packs Arcall Ultra 40. I use the Y strap. This is the additional Y strap to go over my bear can. And then I have added the hip belts, and then the phone holder here. My glasses go in this front one, and then my phone can go there. The water bottle holder here. I use the bottom of my water bottle bag as my garbage can during the day. Just convenient. And then my hip pockets, these used to be where my snacks and everything and a lot of stuff that I now carry in my fanny pack would go. And now they have converted to just other stuff that I use a bit, but not all the time, but I want good access to. So this is my Sawyer back flushing syringe. I always carry it. These are fire starting tabs from Lightsmith. They weigh, I mean, dang it, this scale's messed up. This whole bag is 11 10 grams, and you need one of them. I don't know why I brought the whole bag, but you know, whatever. This is my hand sanitizer in a bottle that does leak a little bit. That's why these other bottles that I showed you before I like better than these squeezy ones, because these ones will leak. This is another bottle of Picardin that, again, didn't even use, but always carry because you never know what you're going to get from mosquitoes. This is my first aid kit. I'm not going to get into the first aid kit too much right now. I can do another video with all of the details around the first aid kit. The one thing that I will say right now that I recommend carrying, well, two things. Emergency blanket. If you've never needed one, good for you. If you have needed one, you know why you want to carry one. It's 50 grams of something that could possibly save your life or somebody else's. And then the other thing that I carry, because I have a blood clotting disorder, and really it's for the weight, it's not a bad idea for everybody to have, but it's this bleed stop. Like if somebody gets a big gash or gets an arterial bleed, this stuff can save a life. 23 grams. Not something that I think a lot of people carry, but again, because I have a blood clotting condition, I feel it's a necessity for me. And then there's some other stuff. I'm not going to get into it right now. It's just in the details, two in the weeds. 123 grams for the full first aid kit, and that's probably minus, I don't know, 20, maybe 25, or maybe even 25 or 30 grams of some KT tape that my wife used. Couple band-aids that we used, but I'll do another video about this if there seems to be interest in it. First aid kits are a big topic for sure. This is the bag to my mosquito head net. Okay, and there is the mosquito head net. Ended up in the other one because I used it at Lake Wanda. If you hike the JMT in 2025, the Lake Wanda gnats are real. Mosquito head net is 27 grams, and I used it mostly because of the biting black flies that were happening around 8,000 feet in a lot of places. These flies would just kind of swarm your head, and you did get like 4 or 5 of them. They didn't really get a chance to bite you, but they just annoy me, so I would wear the net. Whatever. Okay, this is my wall wart, the charger for our resupplies, and then my cable for my Kindle, because I have to carry a Kindle because I'm a reader. So that weighs 70. Well, the wall wart itself, this is an Anchor, I think, and I'll again put the links in. 62 grams. It's a 40 watt. It's the smallest, lightest 40 watt that I could find. There's probably better ones. This was a pretty quick purchase, but I wanted to be able to recharge my stuff as fast as possible at our resupplies. This cord is 10 grams. So sue me. I carry a Kindle. Sue me. This is my repair kit. I like having a repair kit because when the little, I think I mentioned before, when the little stuff breaks, it's so nice to be able to fix it. I use this on this trip to, I loaned a glue. There's some glue in here to a guy that his shoe sole was coming off. And that was awesome for him. I was happy to help. And then I sewed up my bag. This tab here tore off, so I couldn't put my shoes on it. And you probably can't see it from here, but I stitched this tab back together so I could keep using it with some Kevlar, really lightweight Kevlar string that's in here, and some needles that I have. And then I used some duct tape to fix, I fixed something with duct tape. I can't remember what it was. And then I used some of my blue string that's in here to do a string on my tent so I could do a big little rock on some granite. I'll get into it later. A great repair kit is for, this weighs 88 grams. It'll make, the littlest thing can just make a trip so much more difficult, and having that with you means you can fix little things. It's fantastic. I love having it. And then some more luxury stuff I brought just because this trip was so long. I brought a little deck of mini Uno cards. I brought a little deck of cards, and I brought some dice so we could play some games at camp. And we did. At VVR, we played some games. My wife and I played some games when we sat around on shorter hike days. And it was nice to have, passes the time. And all 3 of these things, well, here, I'll weigh them separately. This is like a half-size deck of cards, 48 grams. The world's smallest Uno cards, I think they call it on Amazon, 43 grams. And this is enough dice for 5 people to play liar's dice, 25 grams. Altogether, 114 grams of pure entertainment. So now we get inside the bag. We have a clothing bag. We have a tent footprint. That's a tent body. It's a tent rainfly. And the big one for us is our sleeping pad. The one thing left on my bag is my buff. This is just like a stretchy buff. Bandana, basically, but stretchy. One of the more disgusting parts of a thru hiker's kit. This is your hanky. This is your sweat rag. This is, you get it wet and you put it on your head when you go through water if it's hot. It is my pillowcase. It's gross. This is not something that anyone would ever do at home. Like, oh, I'm going to just blow my nose on my pillowcase. Yeah, gross. I'm not proud. It is what it is. It gets rinsed in lakes and rivers. It gets washed. It can get washed. But because so let's get into this first. This is my clothing. This is my pillow. This is my pillowcase. It just wraps around it at night. And so let's go through the clothing that I brought. Again, I talked about what I'm wearing. I wore this almost the entire time. My puffy. This is an Architect's SL. It's like the lightest jacket they make. Honestly, it's enough for me, but I don't get cold that easily, so it might not be enough for a lot of people. I like it because it is incredibly light. It's going to be probably hard to weigh right now because it's going to get all poofy. Roughly 220 grams. I'll put an actual weight in this. I'll weigh it later and put it in my gear list. Let's see. This is a second pair of the same shorts that I'm currently wearing, just a different color. Again, these are like a Lululemon knockoff that I got from Amazon. I will add the link. I don't normally carry a second pair of shorts, but again, we'll go full disclosure here. I don't wear underpants. So if I rip my shorts, that's an embarrassing time for a few days until I get a new pair of shorts. So for this long trip, I carried another pair of shorts. Base layers. This is what I sleep in, but also a base layer in case it gets too cold. I very rarely hike in long anything. These are just smart wool. Their base layer, I think it's a 150. I sleep in these because I don't like the feel of a 7D nylon against my skin. So this is sleep gear. This is a merino wool hoodie. This is from Merino Tech. This is a nice hoodie. I just got this recently. It's a really lightweight merino. It's got this scuba style hood that actually, even without my buff on the pillowcase, if I wear this hood, if it has to be cold enough, otherwise it's too hot for me. It kind of takes place of a pillowcase. It's kind of nice. But this is a nice piece of sleep gear. It's too dark to hike in for my preferences. If it came in a lighter color, I would have tried to hike in it just to see what it's like. But I hate hiking in dark colors. I can feel the difference of the sun, the heat just soaking into me. So here, I'll weigh this Merino Tech hoodie, size large, 262 grams. The smart wools are 163 grams. These Lululemon knockoffs are 177 grams. What else do we have in here? Okay, so I think this is an Outdoor Vitals. This was like my spare hiking shirt. I thought that I would be alternating between the two shirts, but I didn't end up doing it. And I can't tell you why, other than I really like the way this shirt feels and how cool it is when I hike. This shirt, it's really similar. It's silver instead of white, which is still probably light enough, but it's a really lightweight. Let's see here. 114 grams for this. I'm not going to take this off right now, but I will put this shirt in the gear list with the weight on it as well. subtract a few grams for dirt probably. And then this was something that I bought. I brought this instead of a mid layer. This is a Brynja, and it's a Norwegian mesh base layer. It's wool. It's a fantastic base layer. It's really, really warm. I only wore it a couple times. It's kind of heavy, but not as heavy as a traditional mid layer. Also not as convenient as a traditional mid layer, but it is what it is. 159 grams. There's a real good use for this shirt. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably more of a shoulder season or winter hiking thing. I had heard that they were really good for heat also, but I think that because this is the heavier version, they have a lightweight version that I think underneath a shirt like this could be really nice, because this shirt does, just like any of these shirts, they end up getting sweaty and sticking to you. And the biggest problem there is that the way your sweat works is it needs circulation. So if your shirt is sticking to you, you don't have air circulating to evaporate that sweat and cool you off. So that's where these things really excel, I think, for cooling, but I think it needs to be the lighter version. It is what it is. Lesson learned. I still think that it's a great shirt, and there's definitely a purpose for it. I probably would have brought my other mid layer knowing what I know now. This is my spare set of socks. These are Smart Rolls. I wore these to sleep in mostly and around camp, just to get out of my crusty Darn Toughs. But there's something about the Smart Roll socks, to me, they move around a lot more on my feet than the Darn Toughs. So I don't like hiking in them. I much prefer the Darn Toughs. But for camp socks, or for just a spare set or a second set, they're fine. Something I do like doing that I'll mention since I'm talking about socks is, if you ever have foot issues, it's nice to have two. Don't bring two pair of the same exact sock. Bring two slightly different socks, ones that are a little thinner, maybe a different brand, because a sock can make a big difference in how your feet ride in your shoes. So if you go from one sock to the next day to day, it can change where the contact and the rub and the hot spot points are in your shoes, and really help keep your feet healthy. Personal opinion, I have zero data on that. That's just what I have personally found. So take it for what you will. The stuff sack itself is the Sea to Summit. I think this is a 7D. It's like a really light one. Waterproof, like my bag is supposed to be waterproof. And then I put important things like clothes and other stuff sacks. And then if it's raining, my umbrella is my first go-to if it rains. And then if it's really raining, I'll start putting on rain gear. But even in heavy thunderstorms, I've never really had an issue with my gear getting too wet. I think the biggest problem I'd have is if I end up in a river or something. And then, yeah, that would suck. But like these are really lightweight, and it's supposed to be waterproof, but I know they get little pinholes. I check them a couple times a year. There's risks that you run with some of these things, especially if you're trying to go lightweight. Like there may be people that use more durable stuff sacks or DCF. Like I have some DCF. This is 36 grams for this Sea to Summit bag. I think it's a 10 liter. So again, I have some DCF bags. They're fine. This just works better as a pillow. DCF is really crinkly. I have a DCF bag that I've used as a pillow, but it just makes so much noise when I'm sleeping on it that I started using this instead. Sleeping pad. You know what? I'm going to get into the whole sleep system a little later, but I'll talk about my tent really quick. This is a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2 from 2019. So 6 years old, and it's been a fantastic tent. We have hundreds of nights in this tent. We have been in torrential rainstorms, thunderstorms, water flowing underneath the tent, like crazy, crazy stuff in the Sierra, and we have never been wet. I cannot recommend this tent more. Is it heavier than other options? Yes, it's a little over 3 pounds, but back to our philosophy of a combination of ultralight and comfort, I like having a freestanding tent because of the convenience of where I can pitch it, of how fast I can pitch it if it's raining, and just the condensation on the two wall tent versus a single layer tent. The condensation isn't a worry about it dripping on us. There is a version of this tent now that's about a pound less that I would probably buy if I was to buy a new tent, which I'm thinking of buying a new one just to save some weight. This tent has never had a problem until this trip. About a week in, the zipper one zipper started blowing out, it was splitting, and then a few days after that, the other one started splitting. We were able to manage it just by zipping really carefully. And I have still zero complaints. As much as we have used this tent and what it has been through, I cannot complain at all about it. The whole tent together, I think it's like a little over 3 pounds. Why is this scale? The scale's being weird. Let's see if I can weigh it all together. Nah, it's not gonna work. So the poles are 356. The fly is 477. The body is 439. The footprint is 174. And you'll notice I don't have this in a stuff sack, and there's a reason for that. I don't use stuff sacks other than for my clothes because I like being able to pack my bag depending on how much food I have and depending on the weather too. Because so you saw that all this stuff was inside of my pack. It's because we really had no threats of rain on this trip. It was very dry the whole time. But if it is kind of a normal Sierra summer and we're getting summer rainstorms, then the fly and the footprint and the poles will all be on the outside in the big pocket, because this is, we call it a quick pitch. I think that's what Big Agnes calls it. But you can get the fly on top of the footprint with the poles up within just a few minutes. So if it starts raining, you can throw that up and be dry while you kind of slide the body inside, or you can have lunch inside of it or just hang out during a rainstorm. So I like to keep that convenient if it's raining. And that's the main reason I don't carry it in a stuff set. It's just ease of packing in a small bag is what it comes down to for the most part. And then our pad, which is the last thing that I carry in my bag. This is the Big Agnes Repeat SL tent floor pad. So yes, this is big and this is heavy, but man, my wife and I sleep so well on our sleep system that I'll weigh this now just to get it out of the way. This is 1,323 grams, which is just shy of 3 pounds. So, I mean, 1.5 pounds for a full-length, wide sleeping pad is pretty respectable. I'm an old guy. I sleep on my side. I've had back surgeries and shoulder surgeries and stuff, so I need a comfortable pad. This is a little heavier than what I could do if I wanted to cut weight, but for what it is and the way that we sleep together, I wouldn't change anything. This is our second one. The first one, shout out to Big Agnes. We had a pad just like this. It was a green one, an earlier version, and it started leaking. Big Agnes, after we used that thing for 3 years, a ton, they replaced it free of charge. Big Agnes's warranty is top notch. Their customer service is second to none. So yeah, that's an awesome pad. Again, huge, but whatever. All right, so now things are going to get interesting because we are going to get into my wife's gear. Start with her poles. These are, she uses poles and I don't. These are the Black Diamond Carbon, I think they're the Carbon Z's. I don't even see a model name on this. Distance Carbon Z's. She had some REI poles and we replaced them with these because they're just so much lighter. I looked at some of the other lighter ones. Gossamer Gear makes some, Z-Packs makes some, but for the weight and what the reports online and durability were, this is what we decided to go with. These made it through the entire JMT, and we've been on probably 10 other days of backpacking since we got them. And flawless, absolutely flawless. And they weigh, they're just so light, it's crazy. They are 278 grams, 9 ounces, 9.8 ounces for both poles, which is like less than half. Her other ones are probably at least 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds total for her, the REI, like the extendable poles. She loves these things. They're fantastic. I hate poles. It's just, I have a hard enough time walking with 2 feet. I don't need 2 extra tiny feet to figure out where to stick. Okay, and I'm making a mess here. All right, let's get into the other bag. Ay. Okay, we talked about smart water. We talked about cold soaking tubs. This is another helium rain jacket that she uses. This is what she was going to eat for lunch on the last day, I think, some tortillas with a trail mix. Honey, more lunch stuff. A cork ball from Garage Grown Gear. This is basically the same size as a lacrosse ball. This is cool for rolling your feet out at the end of the day, like to get the knots and stuff out of your feet. This weighs, again, my scale is funky, 37 grams of really fun, nice, easy to carry physical therapy. This is another copy of our permit because we both carry a permit just in case. More lunch stuff. Her spoon, which, did I weigh these? These are Toke's titanium long handle spoons. 15 grams, we each carry one. I'm going to set her stuff over here. She carries the umbrella also. She made fun of me for years, but then after a hike where it was 105 degrees, fully exposed, she was pretty jelly of mine, so I got her one, and she's a convert. She's part of the umbrella gang now. She also carries the sit pad, the same as mine. Carries it in a different spot, personal preference. Let's see what's in here. Poop shovel. This is just to dig your cat holes. We usually use sticks and rocks, but we found this. Somebody had left it behind the campsite, so we started carrying it. It's nice to have. In the Sierra, usually you can get away with sticks and rocks just because the duff is so soft. The exact same water setup that we have that I showed you from my pack, the CNOC with the Sawyer Mini. This one you can see there's a patch on it. It's the patch that came with the previous version of the tent pad, the Big Ice tent pad. But any kind of gear aid or any of the plastic patches work on these things, so it's pretty handy. This hole is because I dropped it on some sharp granite and it got a pinhole. And this one also has another pinhole. If you sit on this one to, like, I'll fill it and sit on it to put pressure in it, it's got a leak that squirts out. But for just regular gravity feed, it doesn't leak anymore. It still doesn't leak. These are pretty close to needing to be replaced. They've got a lot of miles on them. Gear, especially lightweight gear, does not last forever. And if you expect it to, then you'll be disappointed. It's just the nature of the beast. Her back flushing tool. We could probably get away with one, but toilet paper that we packed out. It's the reality of the trail, people. Yeah, you carry your toilet paper. It is what it is. Gross, yes. I'm going to throw this out right now. And we're back. This is funny. I've never been through my wife's bag before. I kind of know how she packed because I see her do it every morning. She has a whistle thing on here that used to have a compass. Should be kind of handy. Let's see what she has in here. Sunscreen. She wears sunscreen. The Aquaphor. Aquaphor is a fantastic thing. If you get like chafing or something at night, it's great. If your lips get sunburned, there's actually sunscreen in this. It's a really nice. It hydrates your lips really fast if you get chapped. Sunscreen for lips. Bag balm is another really cool one for lips and for chafing and for. I use this bag balm. She started getting cracking on her heels from her shoes, and I was using bag balm on the cracking and then gauze and some medical tape at night just to get it hydrated, and it took care of her feet. Like, it prevented blisters from forming by treating them overnight. And that's something about foot care. If your feet start hurting at any point, stop and deal with it. Like right now, you don't go through the day and, oh, I'm just going to suffer through it. It'll be fine, because at that point you're fucked. Like you're going to ruin the rest of your trip. If you get a hot spot on your foot, if something starts hurting, deal with it like immediately. Tell your people you're hiking with, hey, I got to stop and deal with my feet. It's, your feet are it's critical. You're hiking. Your feet are what you need. Do not mess with it. Chapstick. She has all the lip stuff in here. Wow. Okay. Bag balm, Aquaphor, chapstick, and lip sunscreen. We use all this stuff, so I'm not knocking it. It's all It's all stuff that's good, especially on a 3-week trip. Like having options in case you lose something. She uses her little water bottle holder here as garbage also. It's just garbage in there. Okay, this is her, she calls it a Sheenus. It's a pea style, it's the pea funnel for girls, women. She loves it. It's weird as a guy, but it is what it is. Toothbrush, she has some medication. This is this Gigapump 2.0 micro novelty. It's like there's a Flex Tail, I think is the big brand. This thing sucks. Like we had to charge it every single day and it's heavy. We need to get a better one. And there's a flashlight on it that would constantly turn on and waste the battery. 92 grams, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Get a better quality one. Her hand sanitizer. I don't know, there's a rubber band in here. Oh, this is to make her ponytails. It's like rubber bands and stuff. And then mosquito net, same thing that I have. This looks like her food pouch. So she's got just a lot of garbage in here from food, and then a range bar, which is like fantastic. If you haven't tried range bars, 700 calories. And it comes in some pretty fun flavors. And that is the outside of her pack. So let's get in here. I am not going to get into her clothing choices because I wouldn't be able to explain very well why she chooses what she chooses for the most part. So this is basically, yes, the same. It's the women's version of the Z-Packs Alcohol Ultra. This is a 60 liter again because our sleeping bag is so big and that's the part of our shared gear that she carries. That in the women's is not available in a smaller size. Although I have recently learned the body of this pack is the same, and now Z-Packs lets you specify the shoulder straps that you want when you buy a pack. So you can get any one of their packs and add the women's straps to it. So that's cool. The difference between this pack with this, I don't even know the name of the material off the top of my head, but this is not a waterproof material, and the material in mine is waterproof. So Z-Packs has a lot of options. So just pay attention when you're buying, if you buy one. This is her cook kit. It's the same thing as mine. I won't open it up because it's basically the same stuff. She does, instead of the stove, she has a coffee cup, a collapsible coffee cup in here. I don't bother with coffee on the trail, so I don't have one. You know what? I said I was going to open everything, so I'm going to open everything except for her clothes. So here's her stuff. 2 lighters for some reason. The same BRS stove. Coffee cup. Coffee cup is 64 grams, and it's just, what is this? It's all worn off, but it's like this rubber plastic collapsible coffee cup. They're all over the place. I'm recording a video right now, but I'll cut out this part. It's all right. I'll just cut it out. My son. Let's see here. Smelly, the same piece of foil that I have. So the way that we do our food, I have that big bear can that I carry a lot of stuff in during the day. So I carry that, and then at night, all of our food goes in that. We can carry 5, we can cram 6 days of food into it for the both of us. So whoever's not carrying the bear can, and we switch off, carries their food in a stuff sack. So this is just her food bag. She's got her fuel can in here also, but otherwise this is just the food that she had left over in a similar Sea to Summit 7 liter stuff sack as what I use for my pillow, and she uses for her pillow. This is her ditty bag. and this is just her personal items, like the same kind of stuff that I carry, like hairbrush, like face lotion, some prescription stuff, her charging cords, headlamp. I won't get into that. And that leaves us with all of our clothes. And then because this pack isn't a waterproof one, she uses this big DCF liner. So this pack is now empty. Oh, never mind. This is the same gossamer pad that I talked about earlier. She uses it in the bottom of her pack just to protect the bottom of it. So this is a Z-Pack's DCF liner, and the only thing left in here is our, oh, well, there's her, she also has an architect's jacket, a little heavier than mine, and hers has a hood. And then this is our sleeping bag. This is a double quilt from Enlightened Equipment. It's a 20 degree. So our sleep system, this is basically it. I'm not going to open this up, but this is, look online, a double called an accomplice from Enlightened Equipment. If you like sleeping close to your partner, I cannot recommend enough what this sleep system is. So this double sleep, the 10th floor pad, which fits perfectly in the floor of the Copper Spur UL2. And then the Enlighten uses these straps to attach, there's two of them, I'm not sure where the other one is, to attach the pad to the sleeping bag, and then so that it stays tucked underneath you even if you're tossing and turning in your sleep. It's so warm, it's so comfortable, it's so roomy. You're not stuck in a mummy bag, and it's light for the two of us. Like this is hard to weigh because it's so big, but I know it weighs 32 ounces. So 32 ounces for the sleeping pad. This was, so what's that? 2 pounds for the sleeping bag. The pad is 3 pounds. So that's 5 pounds, and then a little over 3 pounds for the tent. So it's like 8 pounds for the sleep system for both of us. So 4 pounds each. That's a light sleep system. Like a normal ultralight bag is a little over a pound. Say a pound for a sleeping pad. And even if you're carrying a pound and a half tent, that's 3.5 pounds. And that's for a minimalist sleep system. So 8 pounds for the two of us is pretty fantastic. And I highly recommend it. We do, if we hike alone, we have other stuff that we use. And it weighs out to about the same. For our single man, we have a single man tent, a single version of this, and then a single version of this bag that we use for hiking by ourselves. And that's pretty much the gear. That's everything that we brought on the John Muir Trail. The one thing that I realized is not, here's my Kindle, because I used it last night, but normally my Kindle would be in this bag, in my fanny pack. And that's it. My phone, which I'm recording with right now, I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max that I carry, so that's adds to the weight. So this gear with food and water, when we put on at the Whitney Portal, my pack weighed 34 pounds and my wife's pack weighed 32 pounds. And that was with 2 liters of water each and 6 days of food. That's probably 5 pounds more than we would normally put on with for a 5-day trip, because we did carry some things that I would consider extra. Like I carried the extra clothes. I don't always bring my umbrella. I don't always bring my hammock. So there were a few extra things in there. It must not be 5. It can't be 5 pounds because there's not 5 pounds extra stuff in here. But I will make a list of all of this equipment with weights, and I'll put it on lights on there's a website. It'll be in the description where I put it all, but I will list all of this stuff out. If you hike with a partner, everything in this kit has been vetted over years. We've got lots of miles on this. It works awesome for us. Again, there's no wrong way to do this. Some people like a lot more comfort, chairs and things like that. Some people like to carry a lot less weight. Hike your own hike. It's all personal preference. So long as you're out there doing it, that's what matters. So thanks for joining me.